I am absolutely delighted to be here with Ivor and Tony Olsen here in Selma, Texas. And I've got to say, we just did an awesome interview and I forgot to click on the camera. So, y'all, we're going to kind of laugh at this a little bit because we're having to do take two. So, thanks to me not pushing a button or whatever. But anyway, I first met y'all back in February. You came to one of my meetings over in San Antonio, and oh my gosh, let's talk about what your issues were at the time when you came to the meeting. What was going on at that time?
I couldn't remember things. I had a lot of pain in different areas of my body. It's hard to do something. I'd have to, I couldn't remember people's names at church, even though I had a list of the names. Then I couldn't even match them up sometime with the people. It was frustrating as all get out because I have problems remembering names anyway, but this made it totally worse. So, people would be kind and say, all right, that's okay.
But did you have a particular diagnosis?
Yes, with the doctor I was meeting with, he thought that I was going to be in memory care in 10 years, full memory care at a rest home or something to do that. And that the day after we met with him, I got my stem cells. A month later, he wanted me to come back in, and he goes, "What happened?"
Love it.
It was, he couldn't believe the change in me in the 1 month.
Wow.
And he said, "I don't want to see you for another 9 months, and then I'm going to give you another test to see how well you're doing." And so.
Did you tell him you had Infiniti Matrix stem cells?
Yeah, I did say that, and he was very interested in that concept, because if it changed that much in 1 month, then I think he's waking up the idea that maybe some of the stuff that people are saying, nah, that doesn't work, we might be able to help people with memory issues.
Excellent.
And that would help a lot of people, I think.
So you're seeing a change, and what about Tony? What are you seeing?
Actually, the diagnosis was Alzheimer's.
Okay.
It was an Alzheimer diagnosis. I'm seeing that Ivor is much more engaged. He's much more lively. He's able to do things that he previously had been unable to do because he just couldn't remember or couldn't figure out how his cognitive function was not at all good. And this was from somebody who had worked on computers. I mean, he was head and shoulders above me in the math and science realm, and yet he was having difficulty, and he was not as confident. He would have to ask me a lot of times, now, is that right? Is this right? Or, how do we do this? He was just very insecure about what he was having to do, or the answers he was giving people, because he was just no longer confident in his own abilities.
So you understood that you were having a struggle trying to bring back. I can't imagine what that's like, but
It's
heartbreaking.
really hard.
Yeah, I can imagine. So you're 3.5 months down the road. So tell me some of the things that you're realizing now that you're regaining the function or healing, or tell me some of those.
Okay, I was having a lot of pain sleeping for a while. Now that all the pain's gone, I stopped taking pain medicine to help me sleep.
Oh.
I'm still having issues with getting enough sleep, but it's getting a lot better.
Good.
I can remember things, like we were playing dominoes, and I couldn't remember the rules or how many dominoes you're supposed to pick after each turn. Frustrating as all get out.
Sure.
And I found out that, my pain is easing. I have some issues for quite a while ago, but they're not as bad. And then I'm also have a torn retina that's almost healed.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
And improving sense of smell. I like smelling the flowers again and so forth. I still don't like smelling coffee, but that came back too.
Uh-oh.
I'm getting a lot better sleep. I can now, domino games and play that. Better remembering the rules on it. Able to remember names of friends easier, so I don't have to look at the list. I can remember I'm going to a meeting tonight,
Cool.
and I will know everybody's name, and I
Oh,
won't have
wow.
to ask.
You mentioned something about your knees, that you were having issues with your knees.
I've had torn cartilage in both knees. I had to have my knees rolled over when I turned 60 and smoothed out, and I got it too late. So I'm having a problem with knees. I haven't had pain with my
Awesome.
knees for quite a while.
Yeah.
I can walk 2 miles in
Oh, that's
half
fabulous.
an hour
Whoa.
and no pain.
Awesome.
I went to a chiropractor yesterday. He goes, "Whoa, I hardly had to do anything to adjust your back because it was so easy to adjust your back." So my body's relaxing more,
Awesome.
and it's just really nice to be able to do things I couldn't do before.
Well, I know I haven't seen you on all that time, and when you came to that first meeting, you were there, but then again, when you looked in your eyes, you really weren't. And oh my gosh, I mean, it's just outstanding. You're back, and I know my 2 phone calls that I made in coordinating to come over here. You answered the phone, you handled all of that, and I would not have anticipated. In fact, when I spoke with you last night, you mentioned y'all went somewhere, and he went and parked the car, and I'm like, really?
And he remembered where the car had been parked, and it was in the San Antonio airport, which is not an easy place. I mean, it's a huge place.
Yeah.
And I had said, "How are we going to find the car?" He said, "Well, I wrote it down on the ticket," but he did not even have to check the ticket. He just remembered where the car was, and we walked right to it.
That is just so beautiful. Is there anything additional you want to add?
Talk about Karen.
Okay. Well, we saw a friend, the friend who recommended that we have stem cells approximately a month ago. And she said, 2 months ago, I would not have been able to have this conversation with Ivor. He has so improved in his memory and his ability to engage with people and his ability to talk and carry on a conversation. She was just amazed at how well Ivor has done, and she is the reason that we decided to have stem cells, because I had shared with her about 5 years ago that I was really concerned that Ivor was losing his memory, but he was not willing to admit it at the time. I'm sure he knew it too, but he also had to close his business down approximately, I think, 2 years ago. That was at my encouragement. Anyway, I've been encouraging him for the last 5 years to close that business down, but he had to finally close it down completely, and it was working on computers and hardware and that type of thing, because he could no longer remember how to do the work.
Oh, wow. So you and Karen both have in common getting your sense of smell back. Yes. And it was coffee that scared her, because suddenly she smelled coffee after 25 years, and that was a good smell for her. But I'm with you. I don't like coffee smell either. So anyway, well, I think this is just awesome. I'm so excited. I want to do this again at 6 months. Let's see where you are then.
Okay.
All right?
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, praise God. Thank y'all so much.